Hey guys, just want to share some thoughts about the recent changes to the partnership program. I'm just going to be kind of, just doodling some random stuff as I talk. The changes to the partnership program essentially say that now you cannot monetize your work unless you meet certain requirements. And so the requirements essentially are that you now must have your channel, okay, must have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 views. And if you don't have that, then you don't get to monetize your work on YouTube. So previously, you could have had a situation where, you didn't have that many subscribers, but you had a lot of views or what have you. Let's face it. If you've got 1,000 subscribers, you're going to clear 4,000 views, no problem. And, we've gotten some pretty funny reasons for this. It's like, we just want to try to ensure the quality of the channels and all of this type of stuff. And my thing is, how many people break the rules of YouTube in order to build a following, to expand their channel, and yet because they did that, they will retain monetization. Whereas people that took the more difficult path of truly trying to create original content, some of them are going to be punished. For example, I currently don't have 1,000 subscribers. All right? So essentially, I won't be able to monetize my work. Now, for me, though, it's not about the money. It's about some of the broader ramifications. And essentially, anytime on YouTube, anytime they make a change to how they handle the content, there's always kind of this attitude that, well, don't worry about these changes, just make great content. That's all you got to do. If we change an algorithm that has a direct impact on discovery, on your ranking in the search results or whatever like that, don't worry about that, because ultimately, if you make great content, you're fine. And so with their current thinking, they're kind of stressing that, listen, if you make great content, you don't have to worry about this change because, you'll easily clear the benchmarks. But here's the point that I've been making. It's so disingenuous to say that success on YouTube is just purely all about talent or quality or even originality. The reality is that you can have people on here who will clear these benchmarks, a lot of them, either by breaking the rules or doing something that literally required hardly any talent. You've got a situation where people upload clips, let's say of Game of Thrones, right? So that's copyrighted material. That's content that they did not create. But yet and still, okay, they'll do that, get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views, easily get hundreds and in some cases thousands of subscribers to their channel, and none of that involved actually having to make content on their own. They just took a clip. Now, hey, who doesn't like being able to see shows or take full-length episodes from popular television shows, older shows that are canceled now and maybe don't have people enforcing the copyright as much as a current broadcast or something like that, or all the cutscenes from a particular video game that people want to watch. They don't have to render a single frame. They don't have to record a single sound effect or musical track. But people, because they enjoy the content, because they feel like, well, this is probably someone who's going to give me more of this this type of content, then, you know, how about I just subscribe to this channel and stay tuned? And they're going to get the views that they need and everything, and you know, it's going to be pretty easy. And it really won't matter if they created it or not, you know, because in the mind of YouTube, well, they're going to say, well, hey, you know, you've got the numbers. You've got 1,000 subscribers. You've got, you know, you've got your 4,000 views. Yeah, you deserve monetization. And my thing is this, right? I'm an artist, okay? I am on the side of creative expression. Just in general, social media and, you know, really the arrival of Web 2.0, I guess you could call it, or what have you, it does bother me that talent, artistic, you know, actual creativity, or trying to really make original content, that really seems to be in trouble now, you know? And this change just really exacerbates that problem in my mind, because now you have to ask yourself, you know, why would you go through the trouble of trying to take time to make truly original content if the simplest way to do it is to just upload clips from a TV show, or, you know, rip the audio out of a video game on your computer and post those audio files on your channel and get subscribers that way? You know, I mean, a lot of people do that type of stuff. Or we have a situation like what happens where, you know, somebody just uploads a video of a hamster. Or we got, you know, the chicks on here who, you know, can smack their lips for 20 minutes and get 800,000 views. And I'm not exaggerating about that. So, you know, I guess that's just, it's annoying when the answer seems to come back that, you know, oh, well, just make great content. No. You know, YouTube, they have a lot to do with that, because, you know, how people get ranked and things like that, that's really part of what makes it difficult for smaller channels. You really need a lot of luck. A lot of times you may have to end up getting featured in the sidebar on a bigger channel's video or something like that in order for you to have a chance. And so there's a lot of that type of stuff. What really gets me is, you know, you'll have a woman who gets 1 million views for breastfeeding a child on YouTube. And so that type of thing, it doesn't really keep with the spirit of the partnership program, where there's supposed to be, you know, people making original content and stuff like that, or, you know, some twerking video easily gets a ton of views. Why would a true creator, and this is the sad thing, so somebody takes the time to craft an original video, original frames of animation, original music, original songs, what have you, and they've got such an uphill battle. Meanwhile, someone else, like, let's talk about PewDiePie, right? This always drives me crazy. PewDiePie became a multi-millionaire, okay? Now, how did he do that? He did it by monetizing the work of others. His entire channel, okay, is essentially about monetizing someone else's work, okay? He did not create the video games that he plays on his channel, and it was never that way going back to the beginning, all right? And the old terms of the partnership program were such that you weren't supposed to monetize content that you didn't create, okay? And that includes gameplay footage. There were a lot of restrictions on that type of stuff. And, you know, I'm not trying to set anybody off or anything, but I'm just stating a fact. If you read the terms of the partnership program, and apparently the people at YouTube don't bother to read their own terms. Someone like PewDiePie never should have been allowed to monetize his channel, much less become a multi-millionaire, in the process of violating those rules with impunity. And so, that's the type of thing that really, it's so annoying. They allowed it to happen because of his popularity, right? You know that. So, essentially, he got a pass. So, in the end, the people that actually followed the rules and did everything, the hard way, the idiots who were actually trying to make unique, original content, they end up in a situation where, now some of them are being punished because they didn't clear these benchmarks, but they would have easily cleared the benchmarks if they were not trying to put as much effort into the channel. And, that's the thing. It's like, it'd be so much easier just to fire up, a copy of Grand Theft Auto 5 or something like that and run around, right? And that would really simplify things. But some people have been out here trying to do something like where they own all of the content that goes into the video. And, you've got guys that take time to produce original music on here, and all of that stuff. And in the end, it's so much effort when somebody else can simply come along and just say, that's a bit too much, How about I just upload a clip from a movie and sit back that way? And then YouTube will pretend that they're not aware of what's happening. That's what drives me crazy. They'll sit there and they'll pretend like they don't know what channels are doing what. I mean, this is Google that we're talking about. Come on, they can build Google Brain. They, index the World Wide Web, all of this type of stuff. Don't sit there. And in the case of PewDiePie, the thing about PewDiePie is that they actually were promoting him. He had the official promotion of the Google machine of YouTube itself. So you knew the type of content that he had on his page. You knew that he did not own the rights to monetize that software. You knew that, but you didn't care for the longest time because essentially he was money, And it just really bothers me because, on a certain sense, because with this move, they really are, you've got smaller channels that are really trying to put quality into their work. And I wish they would stop being so disingenuous. It's not about, preventing bad actors from lasting on YouTube or ensuring a minimum level of quality and all like that. I mean, if you cared, if you were so righteous and everything, you'd start by enforcing your own rules. There are a ton of people who, bypass the content ID system by distorting the video. Now, hey, listen, I love free clips and stuff like that as much as anyone. I'm just saying it's annoying as a creator when you see people getting thousands of subscribers who never even felt compelled to follow the rules in the first place. Or millions of subscribers in some cases. It's like, why is that the case? Why shouldn't people, have to do something original? Now, of course, you have people on here who are like the ladies who nurse their kids. Technically that's original. And I will give, I'll give people credit for that. That's original for them to do that. Original content, I should say. Those frames of video, that's the mom, that's the kid. People who record the animals, the girls who smack their lips for 20 minutes. All of this type of stuff. The people, the silly clickbait stuff and all of this that represents the demise of talent during the age of Web 2.0. At least that's original content. My problem there is when you say make great content, when the people at Google say just make great content, I'm like, yeah, because nursing your kid is making, that's what it means to put real talent and effort into your channel, right? Or just, you know, showing a close-up of a pet. I mean, that stuff is cool. But the level of effort that some of these channels put into their video, like my riddle videos, right? I take the time to work out the riddles, to go and find some good ones. I do the animation, I do the sound effects, the music. Now, I'm not saying any of that stuff is great. I'm not saying I deserve some type of award for any of that stuff. But what I am saying is, you know, at least I'm making everything myself. You know, at least I'm taking the time to try and make original content in accordance with the rules of YouTube. And because I'll do all of that, and then someone else can just, you know, post something that they didn't even create and totally destroy the views that I was able to obtain for that. And it's just it's annoying. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and do some of this drawing. And it's annoying, you know, because there's a big difference in the level of effort and the quality. And to me, what this says is, you know, now people are just really going to take the path of least resistance. You know, people now are essentially going to say, you know what, why would I take time trying to, you know, make an original sound library, or why am I going to take time to draw these frames of animation, or, you know, any of that type of stuff, if, I mean, it's not going to be monetized anyway, so I'll just do it the easiest way possible. Because, you know, there's so many channels, as I said, they don't care about putting quality into the video. But a lot of that is because of the type of people that we have on YouTube. YouTube is such that talent is not required in order for you to post content on here, right? So in that type of system where literally anyone can do it, then talent is not really going to play a big part in it. And so I understand that ultimately, even though I may complain about these changes, you know, the deeper problem is that YouTube, it's no different than anything else. You know, talent starts to lose its relevance in today's age. You've got people now who are making millions of dollars by unwrapping toys. Oh, well, today we're going to cover this Disney play set. And let's look for all you Disney princesses out there. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful this dress is. And I want to make sure I show you this other play set as well, because this one is just amazing. And see how shiny my nails are? And that person will sit back and get 10 million views. I mean, literally taking the toy out of the wrapping, out of the plastic. Okay? So, and you look at that and you say, gosh, you know, is it now, granted, I will say, okay, it's original content. At least it satisfies that requirement. It's not taking the intellectual property of someone else. It's not taking someone else's creation and monetizing it for a fortune the way PewDiePie did and continues to do. You know, oh, let me sit here and play through the entire experience crafted by someone over the last 2 or 3 years. I'll sit down and play it for about 8 hours and then say thanks, you know, on to the next thing, and generate more money from that than the person who made the game and sold it. So at least it's original content. But it's like, really? You know, taking a toy out of the... I mean, it's just like, is this really where we are now? And of course the answer to that is yes. You know, that is where we are. And so, I don't know. There's just, on the internet right now in general, there's no accounting for taste. You know, there really is not. Yeah, so, you know, that's the thing that's annoying, is that to me this is just, they're just kind of embracing what the general the trend that's pretty sad already, and that is, you know, forget about talent. It really doesn't mean a whole lot. You know, in this time. And so, as I said, you look at these inexplicable things and you say, how in the world is somebody being that successful on here? Someone so silly, or someone will be sitting there making, you know, just silly behavior or whatever, and yet, you know, that's the stuff that will get a lot of views and get a lot of subscribers. I've seen channels where the people trash their subscribers. You know, they make fun of their own subscribers, call them stupid, this and that, and it simply does not matter. You know, they're like, well, we don't care. We love you, man. Go ahead and make fun of us. Who cares? And that's, you know, that's the way it is. So yeah, it bothers me. It bothers me that it doesn't seem to be that talent is worth much on here, and not even just so much the talent, but just trying to make original content. And I know they've updated the terms, but for the longest time, I mean, that was a big deal. That's what they wanted you to do, you know. But now that type of stuff isn't happening. So I don't know, as far as going forward, I mean, is YouTube even worth it? Is it worth the effort? But I would love to see an appreciation return for original content, for artistic talent. I would love to see that have relevance on, you know, on the internet again, you know, with somebody. It is pretty depressing that, you know, there's just so much success that is totally inexplicable, unless you step back and realize that, you know what, you know, you're letting your brain get in the way. You know, people are crazy, and if you try to make sense of it, just accept my theory that, you know, when anybody, when it is the case that anyone can do something, that there's no barrier to entry, there's no requirement in terms of skill, there's no requirement in terms of anything, you know, financial barriers, anything like that. When that's the case, then you will have situations where things just don't, you know, where people come along and talent really doesn't matter, because it's a numbers game, you know. If the people who don't really put effort into their, and I know that this is subjective, right? I know that talent is subjective. The lady who's nursing her kid on camera thinks that she's demonstrating some spectacular talent. I get it. But in my assessment, that's simply not the case. But, you know, people like what they like. I've always, you know, people have a right to enjoy the things that they think are cool, but it is a little disconcerting. But what bothers me is YouTube punishing people who played by the rules. It would be so easy to get more views and subscribers if you simply do what everybody else does. That's the most efficient path to those benchmarks, to clear those metrics. That is the optimal path, is to simply just, fine, I'll just record 4 hours of gameplay footage. That means that's 4 hours worth of video frames that I don't have to craft. You know, I don't have to make the audio, all the special effects, all the boss fights, all of that type of stuff like that. The game engine is doing all of that for me. I don't have to lift a finger other than just play the game. Or, you know, if you get up and you start smacking your lips for 10 minutes, turn it off, and look, you just got 800,000 views and a bunch of subscribers. So I guess it is what it is, but it bothers me because there are a lot of channels and a lot of videos that really, I think, are emblematic of what the partnership program was supposed to be, and the type of talent and the effort that was supposed to go into this, versus just, you know, the battle of twerking videos and things like that. And I'm not saying, look, nothing wrong with twerking videos. I'm just saying, is that what you mean when you say create great content? Is the woman nursing her kid? Is that what you mean by great content? You know, or PewDiePie monetizing stuff that he didn't create? Is that what you mean by great content? You know, that's all I'm saying. When you throw around great content and you allow people to break the rules or just be outright lazy and still retain monetization, saying that the person who rips audio and uploads it to a channel, okay, good for you, but to say that that person is more worthy of monetization than someone who creates everything from scratch, that's outrageous. And, you know, it's disappointing, but, you know, it is what it is. And are these sketches? I think I like this format. I think I like with the colors and the white and this look. So I think maybe I'll do more of this. I'll you know, maybe do more sketching like this. If you enjoyed this, you know, or you know, these thoughts, please consider subscribing, because, you know, on here, you know, they measure the quality of a YouTube channel by the subs. But you know, it's definitely a lot to think about. It's emblematic of a deeper problem where I think talent and creativity has seen its day, you know, and really doesn't mean much anymore. And this move by YouTube to reward people who broke the rules, to reward people who do the bare minimum, who don't put any effort into their videos, with monetization because that's what the masses enjoy. Yeah, I think it's just one more nail in the coffin of true creativity. And only the artists out there, when I say artists, I mean musicians, I mean programmers, I mean painters, anybody like, or anyone who just has a talent or just believes and has creativity. You know what I'm talking about. You know how the world is changing out here, and you know what social media has done to the value of those things. So, yep, that's all for now. This was interesting. I tried to, you know, to make the doodles halfway acceptable while still talking. So I don't think I've ever done this, you know, this type of this much sketching while trying to share some thoughts. So I'll probably do more drawing videos and different things like that, but it's hard to imagine I would put a ton of effort into original content anymore when, you know, YouTube clearly wants to punish people. I mean, you know, my riddle video has a decent number of views. The one, what is it? 2 doors, 2 guards. Basically the knights and knaves riddle. But, you know, I won't see any money from that now because I would have to have more subscribers in order to monetize it. You know, but hey, if I was nursing a kid on camera, you know, child could be 5 years old, you know, that's totally fine. That's great content, you know. Okay, well, hope you enjoyed that. I will talk to you later. Bye.